Coming up on the second hour of American Sunrise, talk of sedition. Some Democrat lawmakers released a video this week appearing to encourage members of the military and intelligence community to refuse the president's orders. Now, 47 says they may have committed sedition, punishable by death. We'll have analysis straight ahead. Plus, the Trump administration turning up the pressure on President Putin in Russia to finally bring an end to his year-long invasion of Ukraine. We're going to unpack what 47's next major peace plan could look like. And later, new calls for term limits. Ohio state lawmakers have pushed through a measure calling for a new constitutional amendment that would introduce term limits for members of Congress. Those details later in the hour. We've got a lot in the second hour of American Sunrise on a Friday. We're starting right now. Good morning, America.
Welcome to American Sunrise.
Whether it's culture,
we have breaking news to share with you.
Politics.
President Trump is joining us live now from Florida.
We've got you covered.
This is what it looks like to be a patriot.
We have to protect the American family.
The American dream is still alive.
I'm David Brody.
I'm Terrence.
And I'm Dr. Gina.
Welcome back, everybody, to the second hour of American Sunrise. I'm David Brody, coming to you from D.C. Let's bring in Dr. G in West Palm, T. Bates in our Denver newsroom. Good morning to both of you. Well, Joseph Stalin showing up this morning at the, Zoran Mamdani, my bad, showing up this morning at the White House. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know about you guys. Gina?
I cannot wait because I know that they both probably have a plan. So it'll just be really interesting to kind of see what exactly their plans are and how they mesh. I have a feeling this could go a lot of different ways.
That's
Dr.
Sure,
Gina,
including
since you
sideways.
talked about the... Yeah, it could definitely go sideways. Since you talked about a plan, let me show you. President Trump, again, as you guys have said, is going to host New York's mayor-elect Zoran Mamdani in the Oval Office this afternoon. Now, the president's schedule at this point says that the event is closed to the press, but we are hopeful that it does open up so that you can see and hear what the duo ultimately talks about. Mamdani yesterday, though, giving us a bit of a preview of what he wants to discuss.
For tens of thousands of New Yorkers, this meeting is between two very different candidates who they voted for the same reason. They wanted a leader who would take on the cost of living crisis that makes it impossible for working people to afford living in this city. I intend to make it clear to President Trump that I will work with him on any agenda that benefits New Yorkers. If an agenda hurts New Yorkers, I will also be the first to say so.
We'll have more on the upcoming meeting from the White House with Brian Glenn here in just a minute. In the meantime, federal investigators are out with brand new photos of a doomed UPS plane that crashed 2 weeks ago. The pics show one of the plane's engines starting to detach from the plane before the wing ultimately catches fire. Investigators say there is evidence of cracks in the left wing's engine mount before takeoff. That plane wasn't due for a detailed inspection for nearly 7,000 takeoffs and landings. And a rapper with the popular rap group The Fugees is headed to prison for 14 years after being convicted of illegally funneling millions of dollars in foreign contributions to President Obama's 2012 re-election campaign. 52-year-old Fugees Pras Michel was convicted on 10 counts, including conspiracy and acting as an unregistered agent of a foreign government. Michel was facing up to life in prison. That's a quick check of your headlines. Now, let's get a quick check of your forecast with meteorologist Tracy Anthony. Tracy, it is now time for our hometown forecast. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. You know, this morning we are going to be taking you out to Wyoming. An interesting stat. I know I start to look up some of these cities. So cool. Esterbrook, Wyoming. In the 2010 census, 52 people of the population. So kind of cool. We've got a viewer from there. Beautiful forecast through the weekend. But look, as we get into that Thanksgiving week, those temperatures are going to be dropping. And, you know, that's kind of a story that we're going to be tracking across the entire country. It's looking like it's going to be a chilly Thanksgiving. Even Millers Creek, North Carolina. This coming in from Tea Party Girl on Getter. You're going to be dealing with the rain showers. May even have some fog this morning. We'll clear out for a couple of days to end the weekend, but another storm is going to knock on our doorstep for Thanksgiving as well. And for the last hometown forecast, going to take you down to Sugar Land, Texas. This from Baby Mom of 3 on Getter. 86 degrees today. You've been battling record heat. You get a little cool down here for the weekend, but you're going to be dodging those scattered rain showers. So, over the course of the next couple of days and into the holiday week, Terrence, a few people are going to be battling some travel trouble as we have a big storm system that's going to sweep across the country next week.
All right, touchscreen Tracy, TT as you like to be called. We appreciate it. All right, have a great weekend. Let's get you over to David Brody now so we can go to the White House. Zoran coming to the Oval Office. Bro, I can't wait.
Oh, goodness gracious, for sure. Let's talk about it right now. So let's get to the White House. Brian Glenn, RAV White House correspondent, there on the North Lawn this morning. Brian, my goodness gracious. Well, so much for a slow Friday. There's never a slow Friday. There's never a slow day at the White House. So how is it going to go between Trump and Stalin? I mean, like I said, Mamdani, my bad. I'm so sorry. Sorry, slip of the tongue, my bad.
Yeah, it happens all the time here.
Sure.
Good morning, everybody. We do have that greatly anticipated meeting happening a little bit later today at 3 o'clock to be exact. I talked to one Trump spokesperson earlier. We weren't sure where Mamdani's actually going to enter the White House, if it's going to be behind me along Pebble Beach going to the West Wing, or be between the executive branch. We don't know at this point. But the biggest question is, will cameras be allowed inside this meeting? Now, right now, as of right now, it is closed press. And there were a couple, I guess, scenarios that would allow that to open up. One would be that if the meeting is going great and we seem like there is some type of progress being made between the president and the mayor-elect, then perhaps it will open up. If perhaps there is a complete go sideways, like you guys said, maybe it doesn't. So President Trump knows that this is a moment, in my opinion, to expose some of the radical ideas behind socialism, behind communism is what he calls it, and also some of the plans for New York City. Now, a lot of things are on the table: safety, law and order, affordability, housing, things, transit, things like that. So those are topics that will be discussed, but whether or not we all see it as it plays out live is still yet to be answered.
To be a fly on the wall in the Oval Office. I really want to see how this goes down. Hopefully it does open up. Brian, I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about President Trump's effort to bring peace to the war between Russia and Ukraine. Yesterday, a military delegation was in Ukraine meeting with Volodymyr Zelensky. The administration is out with this 28-point peace plan now. What's the attitude there in the White House in terms of how this all may ultimately move forward? And is there a sense in terms of how open Zelensky may be to ceding land, which is part of the deal?
Yeah, right now Ukraine controls, or Russia, I should say, controls about 20% of that country as far as the territory they're able to gain since this escalation has started. So, but what's interesting on this, so we know that Zelensky, and I believe this 28-point plan, Zelensky is open to really going through the items on there and ending this war. But on the other side, Russia is denying that there's been any type of talk whatsoever between the U.S. officials and Russian officials in terms of this agreement. So there's a big mistrust going on right now between, I think, the three countries. Russia being, I would put most of the blame and mistrust on Russia, but certainly this has been something that President Trump has set out to end, even during the campaign, to end this conflict between Ukraine and Russia. Security guarantees, from what I understand, is a part of that 28-point plan. Security guarantees for not only Ukraine, but from Europe in that area and all the surrounding countries. So we'll see how it plays out, but it seems like you don't really know who to trust at this point. Do you trust Russia? Do you trust Ukraine? I don't know. I trust President Trump, hopefully, and his amazing team, Steve Witkoff and others, to get this deal done.
Brian, we want to get your reaction to a rumor spreading around Washington, D.C. right now. Reports are circulating that the Bush family is planning to retake the Republican Party once President Trump leaves office. Brian, is the White House aware of this rumor, and what is the response? I know the response among MAGA is pretty much over my cold, dead political body, but what's the response at the White House?
Yeah, I think the response is the same at the building behind me as well. I think all of us Or that is a big heck no. We know exactly what happened under the Bush dynasty, the wars that we were dragged into, the thousands of military men and women that died in result of these wars. I don't see how that's possible as long as there's one person in this country that's willing to stand on America First values and stand on America MAGA principle values. I don't see that happening. But, you know, look, the midterms, we know exactly. There's a lot of people running, and people need to understand this. The midterms next year, I think there's 50 plus people in Congress on both sides that are running for other positions or quite simply retiring. Who takes those, who replaces those Republicans are very important. That could be the beginning of what they would describe as a Bush dynasty rebuilding. So we got to be very careful. We keep the right Republicans in and we keep the wrong Republicans out.
Yeah.
Brian Glenn, great to have you from the White House. Enjoy the afternoon with Mamdani and Trump. That should be interesting. Thank you, sir.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Lee.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.
Okay, coming up, a Florida congresswoman finds herself at the center of a stunning FEMA fraud scheme. Prosecutors say she stole millions in disaster relief. Details when we come back.